A faint glow drifted in the darkness, a halo of low surface brightness surrounding a core that pulsed like a living heart of light. It shimmered softly, its edges breathing in and out, as though the void itself had lungs. Around it, distant stars burned sharp and steady, but this light was different, broader, deliberate, aware. It did not merely shine. It watched. Beneath the Franco-Swiss border, the world's most advanced laboratories stirred in silence. In the subterranean halls of the 3I Atlas facility, energy hummed through the walls like the heartbeat of some hidden machine. What was about to happen was neither war nor accident. It was a designed moment, part experiment, part revelation. The experiment's purpose was simple in theory, impossible in practice: to see what happens when light itself is forced beyond the limits of known physics. To make photons behave not as waves or particles, but as something entirely new, something that might reveal the structure of the universe itself. The project's code name, 3I, short for Tri-Photon Interference Initiative. Layers of synchronized laser frequencies would overlap, collide, and merge, weaving a lattice of perfect coherence, a harmony of light dense enough to bend space. At the core of the experiment stood the Atlas chamber, a reconstruction of the old particle collider detector, now reborn as a cathedral of light. Superconducting stabilizers held the chamber at near absolute zero. Resonance filters tuned each wavelength to a millionth of a hertz. Every mirror, every lens, every fiber optic thread was aligned with atomic precision. Even Earth's rotation was synchronized to the firing sequence. When the moment arrived, control panels flickered blue and white across the facility. Power levels climbed. The air itself seemed to hold its breath. Then the countdown reached zero. The pulse was released. It wasn't a single beam, it was a chord of hundreds of frequencies, layered and fused into one coherent voice of radiance. A vertical column of brilliance surged upward through the chamber, piercing the atmosphere with a precision so perfect it seemed sculpted by thought. Observers at the surface saw a thin spear of daylight rise into the clouds. For a heartbeat, the sky rippled, as if space itself had inhaled. Then came the data, staggering, impossible numbers streaming across every monitor. The pulse's intensity exceeded 10 to the power of 23 watts per square centimeter. At that level, light, the weightless traveler, began to exert gravity. Photons pulled on one another, forming a swirling spiral of luminous curvature. In that instant, quantum mechanics and general relativity met face to face. Space trembled. Time stuttered. Then silence. The light faded. Cooling systems hissed softly through the quiet. No explosion. No collapse. Only the stillness of a world holding its breath. And then, the screens filled with unreadable data, symbols without origin, values beyond calibration. Gravitational sensors twitched. Magnetometers spiked. Satellites above the planet began detecting faint distortions rippling outward from the beam's trajectory. Something had changed, not inside the machine, but in space itself. At first, the team thought it was interference, a phantom signal caused by reflection. But the readings didn't fade. Instead, they began to repeat, rhythmic, harmonic, purposeful. A pulse hidden within the data, beating like a code. When visualized, it formed a pattern of geometric precision. 3 arcs of light circling a single point, rotating in symmetry, forming what looked eerily like an eye. And so, the name 3I Atlas was born. Across the world, observatories realigned their instruments, their massive dishes and infrared eyes turning toward a single patch of sky. In Chile's desert, in the frozen plains of Antarctica, and atop silent mountain peaks in Hawaii and Tibet, every telescope began detecting the same anomaly. It wasn't static. It wasn't random. It was rhythm. A faint, organized distortion expanding through the cosmic fabric itself, a ripple moving outward from Earth, spreading with the precision of a heartbeat written into space. Astronomers watched as the wave passed beyond the orbit of the Moon, then glided past Mars, its pattern unbroken. Every sensor that touched it recorded something impossible, a geometry within the distortion, a symmetry too perfect for chance. It was as if the pulse carried structure, light behaving as if it remembered where it came from. Weeks passed. And then, near the orbit of Saturn, telescopes captured something that defied explanation. At first, it appeared as a translucent hexagon, a ghostly shimmer hovering just beyond the planet's rings, its edges folding and refolding like the facets of an enormous crystal. But as the data came in, it began to spiral, coiling into a web of pure radiance, a lattice of light, bending, folding, breathing. Its spectral fingerprint matched the original Atlas pulse precisely. Whatever had been launched, or born, from that experiment beneath CERN was not just moving through space, it was growing. And now, impossibly, it was accelerating. Energy readings showed a faint resonance, as if the structure were aware of being observed. Each time telescopes focused more intently on it, the light patterns shifted, like something turning to look back. Across scientific institutions, disbelief collided with wonder. Some called it a feedback phenomenon, a complex optical echo created by interference across magnetic fields. Others whispered a theory far more unsettling, that humanity had not just released energy into the void, but had awakened something hidden within it. Inside CERN, exhausted scientists gathered around dimly lit consoles. They re-examined the telemetry line by line, reconstructed every waveform from the moment of the pulse. Then one discovery froze the room into silence. The original signal had not simply departed Earth. A second one, identical, reversed in phase, had returned from deep space exactly 47 minutes later. Perfectly mirrored. Perfectly timed. As though reality itself had reflected it from the far side of existence. It wasn't interference. It wasn't random noise. It was intention. To decode it, the team converted the raw frequency data into sound. And through the lab's speakers came a tone, layered, harmonic, haunting. 3 overlapping voices, each with its own pitch, weaving together into a rhythm of triplets. The sound was neither mechanical nor natural, it felt deliberate. Some heard a melody. Others swore they heard language. But everyone in that room felt the same chill, the sense that something, somewhere, was speaking back. Within hours, government agencies intervened. The Atlas facility was sealed. Every file, every transmission, classified under quantum field containment protocol. Publicly, the world was told it was an overpowered laser test, a routine photonic calibration that overloaded the detectors. But behind closed doors, the truth was far stranger. Late one night, a researcher remained in the control room, unable to sleep, replaying the signal at the lowest possible frequency. Through the whisper of background noise, they noticed a recurring pattern in the decay tail, 3 pulses. One long, 2 short. Pause. Then again. Again. A steady, patient rhythm, repeating endlessly. When translated from Morse-like intervals, it formed 3 simple words, words that should never have been there. We see you. The room fell silent. The hum of the cooling systems faded beneath the sound of their own heartbeat. The monitors glowed faintly, their light pulsing in perfect sync with the returning signal. Far above the clouds, beyond the pull of Earth's gravity, something faint and luminous continued to drift. Its shape blurred and folded, neither matter nor energy, but something between. It carried with it more than light, it carried awareness. An echo of creation, moving outward through the cold corridors of the solar system, as if the universe itself had finally looked back and decided to answer.